Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women, the podcast where we uncork the stories and insights of exceptional female leaders from all walks of life. Our goal is to serve up wisdom, tips, and inspiration, and to support each other in rediscovering ourselves and what sets our souls on fire. We'll also share personal memories, paired with friends and a favorite beverage. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe that the best stories are served up over a glass of wine or a cocktail. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Carol Meade is Director of Behavioral Health Services for Unity Point Health, St. Luke's Hospital. It's one of the largest healthcare systems in the nation. She's also one of my best friends and golfing buddy. We've shared a lot of fun on Wednesday evenings in the summer. That's our Ladies League night. We also golf on Friday evenings with the boys, and our golf games have improved, but we do just about as much chatting and problem solving as golfing, and almost always include some swing oil before, during, and after a round. Carol is a good friend. She's also family-oriented with 3 fantastic, and now adult, kids. Alec, who was born with spina bifida, is one of the happiest people on the planet. Katie, who teaches school in Milwaukee and is getting married in the spring, and Jack, who is following in his mom's footsteps and pursuing an advanced degree in social work. Her passion for mental health care is evident in her work and in the accolades she receives. She was recently honored by Waypoint Services Women of Achievement in Service to the Community. 3 words that describe her are resilient, empathic, and determined. One of the things we discussed on the golf course is a retreat she runs called Reigniting the Spirit of Caring. She lights up when she describes it. I wish every company had this program and someone like Carol to implement it. Here is Carol Meade. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself first and like your background and where you grew up and that kind of thing.
All right. Okay. Well, I grew up here in eastern Iowa. I grew up on a farm, kind of by Williamsburg. That's where I went to high school. I have 3 siblings. I'm right in the middle. We have 2 sisters and a brother. So I still live around here. I have 3 kids. Been married for 30 years, about almost. I'll be 33 in a couple months. I went to college at Luther College. I went to graduate school in St. Louis at WashU, and been working in Cedar Rapids. I worked, of about the 33 years or whatever that I've been working, I've worked about 25 of those years at St. Luke's in Cedar Rapids. So That's been most of my career. Yeah.
Very cool. And what's your position, or what do you do?
What do I do? So currently I'm the Director of Behavioral Health Services at St. Luke's, which means I kind of oversee all of the psychiatric services that we offer within the hospital and then hospital outpatient departments. So we have programs that we serve kids and adults and geriatric population and kind of all that goes with that.
So you have a big team.
I do have a big team. I'm not exactly sure how many, people who direct reportedly to me. It's not super big. I probably have maybe 12 or 15 people who report directly to me, but the team itself is probably, 200, 225 people. Mm-hmm. It's not as big as it used to be, sadly, because, it's hard to keep nurses right now. So we have a lot of openings. So if there's any nurses out there who would like to work in psychiatric services, we're really short.
Well, that's great. I will add a little plug in the show notes. If you're looking for people.
I recruit everywhere I go. Every time I take Alec to a doctor's appointment at the university, I'm always like, you would be a great psych nurse. Would you like to come with for me? And I slide them my card.
Love it. So, does it take a specialty or a practicum or what? What kind of nurse are you looking for?
Sadly, the nursing schools don't do nearly enough work, I don't think, to educate people about psych nursing. Mm-hmm. And so people who end up a psych nurse typically fall into it by accident. So they might do a clinical rotation. You have to do at least a little clinical rotation, I think, most schools through your psych, through a psych unit. but sometimes it's so minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's, often it's people sort of just accidentally end up there and they fall in love with it because, you're working with sometimes people who are, a little bit on the fringes, and people who are really struggling. And it's a different kind of nursing. You're not doing the procedures. You're not putting in IVs most of the time. You're not doing some of that other real medical stuff, but you're really taking care of people in a different way. So you have to have a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy, a lot of, just meeting people where they are. And, but you get to see them really go through oftentimes, some good changes in their life. And you see people at their lowest point sometimes too. So
I can imagine that is a very rewarding career.
It can be. It's not always easy.
I'm sure.
Stuff happens. It's not always easy, but it can be really rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Cool.
Sure.
Well, we are talking at the holiday season during the holidays. Do you see an uptick in need right now?
It's interesting. What we do too is acute, so hospitalization. So people with MS are pretty sick. People are definitely in need right now. So holidays are hard for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. But it doesn't always require an inpatient hospitalization. Many times it doesn't. Back in the day, back in the day, people used to go to the hospital for like 30 days and, you'd talk about it in very secretive terms. That's not really the case anymore. People come in for maybe 3 to 5 days just to get to a safe place and feel better and, maybe get some meds changed. And then we connect them with outpatient services again. So it's not super busy right now. I mean, we're busy. We're always busy. But I suspect we'll get busy again after the holidays. So a lot of times people also try to kind of hold it together just during that holiday time. Yeah. So yeah, it varies. It used to be, there are some sort of natural cycles in our business, but not as much as there used to be, honestly. We used to get really slow in the summer on our child and adolescent unit, but we don't as much as we used to. So lots of people struggling.
Yeah. So what do you attribute
that to?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the answer. Maybe some of it's awareness. I do think there's some amount of, even though we still talk a lot about stigma and how stigma does keep people from seeking treatment, I think especially for young people, that's less than it used to be. People are definitely, I think that has been a positive thing that has come from COVID. People are much more willing to talk about their mental health and their struggles than they used to be. People are just much more open about it than I think we used to be. I think back to when we were in high school, right? And everything was great.
The glory years.
The glory years, right? Nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about struggling with depression. At least I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Young people talk about it pretty openly. I've gone and talked to some colleges and it's just amazing to me to hear them talk, which is great because, hopefully they're seeking treatment and help early so that they can, get the right treatment and maybe never end up having to be hospitalized, which can be traumatic.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I remember back then people talking about commitments, like having family members, but in hushed tones, you heard only about it. Yeah. Through the
whispered or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't really usually from a kind standpoint either. It wasn't very.
No, it's judgmental. And, yeah. Like somebody did something wrong or, which isn't the case most of the time. It's just.
Or something's wrong with them because they're.
Yeah. Or as a parent, there's something you did wrong.
Right.
That caused your child to have, some sort of condition or whatever. So we've come a long way, I think, since then. there's still a fair amount of stigma out there. Still a lot.
Oh, sure.
Especially like it's sort of okay for you guys to do that, but I'm good.
Yeah. That kind of false sense of bravery.
Yeah. And that Midwestern sort of pick yourself up by the bootstraps and move on, and
stoicism and
yeah.
But you are doing good work. That is really important work.
So. Yeah, it's good work. I feel again, it's not always easy work, but it's definitely rewarding work, and I work with some amazing people who also have great passion for the work they do and are interested in continuing to improve our services and expand and figure out how to, reach more people in the community. So
cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
What made you choose this career? I mean, how did you get into what you're doing?
It's a good question. So I've been talking about nurses. I'm not a nurse. I work with mostly nurses, and I play one at home sometimes, but I'm not a nurse. So my background is social work. I have my master's in social work. I'm not exactly sure why I chose social work, but, I think I've always wanted to be in a field where I felt like I was making a difference and helping people, and always sort of thought I wanted to be in leadership at some point as well. When I graduated from college, I know I wasn't quite ready to go out on my own. So I thought I'll just keep going to school for a while. I studied that. But I also knew that I kind of needed to get my master's, especially if I really did want to get into leadership. So that's kind of why I did that right away. Back then, again, in the 80s, people didn't do that. Like, you didn't go straight from undergraduate to graduate school.
Right.
It wasn't super common in my field. They wanted you to get some experience first. It's way more common now, and it's pretty much like that's what most people do.
Kind of a minimum requirement.
Sort of, yeah. If you want to get, something outside of just an entry level sort of job. So once I got out, it's a funny story about how I got my first job. I graduated in December of 1990, and I was getting married in February and moving back, and I think my mom was worried that I wasn't going to get a job, so this was 1990, no internet, no LinkedIn or anything. So she would cut ads out of the Cedar Rapids Gazette and send them to me in the mail.
She wanted you to be close.
She wanted me to have a job. Well, she knew I was going to be close. She knew I was moving back. She was worried, I think, that I wasn't going to have a job, and maybe she thought I was moved back in with them for a while. I don't know. So she sent me this, and I applied for several of them. And she sent me a job for this job at St. Luke's, a little ad for the job at St. Luke's. I don't really want to work at a hospital. I wasn't sure I really wanted to work with kids, and that's what this job was. But I applied, and I went and interviewed, and I got the job. And it was, for 1990, it was a pretty decent paying job. So I thought, all right, I'll start there. And so there I was, working in a hospital, working with kids, doing, what I didn't think I wanted to do. And it's a great place to work. St. Luke's is a fabulous place to work. So I stayed there. I left for like 7 years and worked for Grantwood AEA as a school social worker because I had summers off, which was fabulous. I did that while my kids were little. And then there was an opportunity to come back to St. Luke's as a supervisor for the program that I actually started back in the 90s.
Wow.
So I came back and kind of worked my way up from there. So
nice.
Yeah. So it was because my mom sent me an ad from the event.
Well, and was John already working then? He already had a job locally?
Yes. He worked at the university then. University of Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
she knew you were going to be close by.
She knew I was coming back.
Okay.
I think she was just worried I wasn't going to get a job.
Oh. Has she met you?
She had a lot of faith in me, didn't she? Maybe she thought I wasn't working. I don't know. She said her mom had on.
And she was just helping. Yes, for sure.
I suppose it was harder to look for. Man, think about that now. Like, I don't know how else I would have found a job.
Oh.
I would have
That's right. How did I think my career, so you went to Luther, I went to Central, and your brother and I were in the same class. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But I remember Central giving us lists of job openings, and they kind of did the whole background, searching for jobs and stuff.
And you just went through the classified ads in the paper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what you did.
Yeah. We would get a subscription to the Des Moines Register, or whatever city you wanted to be located in. You kind of got that subscription and looked in the ads, and yeah, boy, that's a blast from the past. Thinking back at that, circling.
There was the internet. My roommate did have a computer, but
really?
I don't think you could do much.
No.
I don't know that there was. I'm sure there was the internet, but I don't know that we could get on the internet.
Yeah, it was
a computer. I think we used
limited.
it to type papers and maybe play games. I don't even know.
I remember
we used it to type our papers.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember doing spreadsheets for some of my classes, and you used a tool called WYSIWYG to make it look like a graph or a chart, or it was really primitive.
That's funny. When
what
I was
you see
in college,
is what you get. Yeah.
I wrote one paper on the internet, not on the internet, on a computer. And it was my senior paper. It was there. You have to do a senior paper, which is research project. That's one credit just for that paper. That was the only thing I typed up on a computer. Wow. Otherwise, I used my typewriter.
And it was a word processor. It wasn't like...
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it was a word processor.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We have come so far.
Isn't that crazy? It's to think about.
Yes.
No phones, no recordings of the things we might have done in college.
No podcasts. Yeah. No Facebook. No. Yeah.
Very little documentation of things that may have happened.
Thank the good Lord.
Right? Yeah, I think that's okay. It's just
that is okay. Yeah. So would you have done anything differently?
No, I don't think so. I feel so fortunate that I ended up there. It's funny because my boss, who I ended up replacing him eventually. When I took this job, I actually replaced the person who hired me, 23 years or 33 years ago. And he told me that he had a rule that he never hired people who went straight from college to graduate school unless they had experience. And I had zero experience. It was nothing. I don't know what it was about that. I had done a couple of really good practicums in St. Louis. I had done, I worked in a group home for kids. That was kind of their last ditch, really. And for treatment. And so it was a pretty tough place. I wouldn't say that I did anything. It was a practicum, but it looked good on my resume, right? So, so he hired me. And, he loved to tell people that he normally never hired people like that. Right out of graduate school who'd never, who went straight from college to graduate school. So that was very fortunate. And working at St. Luke's has been such a blessing. It's such a great place to work. There's lots and lots of people there who have worked there for decades, their entire career. And then leaving to go work for the AA was actually turned out to be a really great experience for me too, because it helped me when I came back in terms of, networking and partnerships that I'd met. So I was able to kind of grow some of the programming that I came back to manage. Plus it was good timing when my kids were little. I had the summers off, so that was all great. But then my first boss hired me back again the second time.
Oh, wow.
I've been back for 20 years now. So yeah, it's
been good.
It has been good. Yeah. I can't think of anything I'd really do differently. It's been a good career. Yeah.
And we have, so for my listeners, we are golfing buddies too. And we share a lot of fun stories on the golf course. But I know one thing that we've always talked about that I love to hear you tell me is your, the programs, the seminars that you run.
Yeah.
Tell me about those.
That's a newer thing. And they're called Reigniting the Spirit of Caring. So I've been doing that for about, how long have I been doing that? About a year. Yeah, about a year and a half. So, one of the things in my role as the director of behavioral health, we also get called upon, my colleagues and myself, when there's stuff that happens in the hospital, crisis, possibly an untimely death in a department. We come in and we do debriefings. So one of the things that I became pretty passionate about during COVID was just the well-being of the people who work in a hospital. The last few years has been hard. It's been hard in a lot of ways. Healthcare workers were the workers who continued to no remote work for them, right? I mean, those nurses were coming to work every day, taking care of really, really sick people. They had to pivot almost overnight to figure out how to take care of these patients differently. I became really concerned about some of the leaders, though, because again, sort of like we were talking about before, as leaders, we're there taking care of people all of the time, and then always put on this face of, but I'm okay, right? That I'm right. When clearly you're probably not. So I did a lot of stuff at the beginning, trying to offer some support to them, as well as frontline staff. And the cycles that healthcare has gone through in the last, 3.5 years has just been really, really crazy and, changing. Nurses have either left the career altogether, or, many have left to go travel as a traveling nurse, because you can make a lot of money being a traveling nurse. So hospitals like ours have really struggled to stay staffed, which is important, obviously, because we need to be there to take care of our community when they're sick. So it's been really hard. I think it was about a year and a half ago, the CEO, Michelle Neerman at the time, asked me if I would be interested in doing a program that we had done at St. Luke's actually like 20 years ago, called Reigniting the Spirit of Caring. So there's an organization based in Minneapolis that's called Creative Healthcare Management. It's a woman-owned organization. So It's a fabulous organization that does these retreats, and they will train people locally to then, kind of take them over. So we started doing them in the summer of 2022. And then I went to a practicum where I can now facilitate them on my own. We've got a team of 6 of us who do it. And it's 3 days where healthcare workers come out, and it's just like what it says. It's reigniting your spirit of caring. So we talk about the relationship with yourself, relationship with your patients, and your relationships with your colleagues. And how do you care for all 3 of those? And it really, at the basis of all of it, obviously, is caring for yourself. Making sure that your mind, body, and spirit are balanced. What are you doing to take care of those things? And then also, it's most of it's not rocket science. It's really just becoming more aware and insightful. And, we get so hung up at work on so many things that we can't control, right? Yeah. So we talk a lot about that idea of circle of influence, and, what's within my influence, what's within my ability to change, and what's not. And so how do I balance that out? And then also, one of my favorite things that we teach is, approaching things from a spirit of kindness, and, what's in my heart when someone comes at me and I'm like really frustrated with them. If I'm approaching it from a spirit of kindness and curiosity at times, you're gonna have a better outcome all the time. So I think that would be hard. It can be sometimes. It can be. Because we also live in a world, this is the other thing that's happening in healthcare in every place in the world, I think, is a lack of civility at times. Yeah. So people come in, they have to wait a long time. That seems to be the biggest one. We don't always have the answers people want. We're often short-staffed, and so things don't happen as quickly as they want. So people just become impatient and frustrated. And, how do we approach those folks too from a spirit of wanting to help as opposed to getting defensive? Because as soon as we get defensive,
walls go up.
It does. It's, my behavior impacts your behavior and your behavior impacts my behavior.
Escalates.
So if I match my energy with your energy and it's negative, it's all we're doing is.
That's bad.
So so there's some skills that we teach there. We can't fix everything. That's the other piece is, there's no magic answer. If I teach you all of these things, suddenly people are whipping jerks out there. Well, that doesn't happen either.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to figure out ways to kind of protect yourself and take care of yourself. And so that's really what we're working to do is how do we create an environment of well-being for the team members who work at the hospital. It's a 3-day retreat. We do it once a month, and it's turned into one of my most favorite things that I get to do at work. Because you see this team of people who, for one, they start on day one kind of quiet and they don't often know each other. So it's not like a whole team goes. It's people from all over the hospital.
Okay.
And by day 3, they're becoming friends. You start to see how different parts of the organization work too. And you learn from other people. There's some magic in the 3 days. We get pushback sometimes of, couldn't we do this in like 2 hours maybe?
Oh, geez.
Not really. Not really. The magic happens in the 3 days.
Yeah.
And, so kind of the next thing we're working on now is how do we keep some of that going though? How do we keep that spirit going? So
yeah. When you're in that 3-day bubble, I can imagine, well, it takes some time to gel and to really. Hello, friend. Let's be real. When's the last time you did something just for you? Enter Wine Camp 2026. We're talking wine tastings, fire pit chats, sunset dinner cruises, and 0 cooking required. Just show up, sip something fabulous, and reconnect with the version of you who loves adventure, sisterhood, and a glass of local Riesling in hand. Sweet, dry, or both. No judgment here. We're heading to New York's gorgeous Finger Lakes, July 31st through August 2nd. And yes, it's as dreamy as it sounds. Secure your spot at pennyforyourshots.com/winecamp. Don't wait. Room options are limited. And my crystal ball says we're going to sell out. Bring your besties or fly solo like the fabulous free spirit you are. You'll leave with new favorites either way. Wine Camp 2026 is calling. The only question is, are you in? Find out more at pennyforyourshots.com/winecamp. Yeah. The synergy of, working together and learning each other's personalities. And I imagine like if, the 2-hour thing, wouldn't it be great if we could wave a magic wand?
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. 2 hours that's just very surface level. I feel like that would be not enough.
It is. Yeah. But we live in a world of like,
quick.
We do. And it's we work in a 24/7 organization. And so that's the other really hard piece. We're short staffed. It's hard to get people off the schedule for 3 days. So, but at the same time,
important though.
It is so important. And that's what we try to talk about is like the investment is totally worth it, right? Yeah. Like if we can let people know how much we care about them while also teaching them some skills to take care of themselves and better take care of their colleagues around them rather than getting frustrated or angry with them too.
Yeah.
And our patrons.
Is it sort of an emotional intelligence kind of training? Is that a piece of it?
I would say that's definitely a piece of it. I think there's a lot of theories kind of woven into that, but definitely some emotional intelligence is a big part of it. And, just learning how to pick up those cues from other people, which is a big thing. We have one day where we actually bring former patients in.
Oh, wow.
And they tell their stories. And we encourage them to tell the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And what our team members learn is it's not the big stuff. It's not the big stuff that makes a big difference. It's the little thing, right? It's the person who came in and gave you a warm blanket. It's the person who noticed that your family member didn't have a chair and they brought the chair in. It's those sorts of things that make such a big difference where we think it's the big things. And then also remembering we do this work like any work that you do every day becomes second nature. And, for us, it's a Tuesday, right? It's like every other day. But for that person, it's potentially the hardest day of their life. And so like putting that in perspective for people that we need to really listen and have some compassion when people are frustrated because there's a reason they're frustrated. And it's because things aren't going the way they expected them to or whatever. And it's people typically aren't intentionally jerks.
Yeah. I hope not.
Not like they want to be. Most don't want to be.
Yeah. Not in that setting.
No. So yeah, that's been a fun new piece of my job. That's a little different than my other work. Yeah.
So without being, without revealing anyone's personal information or stories, can you share a story from something that has come out while you've been doing the retreats? Like, has there been anything really?
I think that some of the biggest takeaways that people walk away from is that idea of, kind of like I said, it's not the really big things that matter, right?
Yeah.
It's the little things that people do. And the other piece that's real that we see all the time is like the things that you need to be able to take really good care of your patients or take care of yourself are often not the really big things either. You get so caught up in the day-to-day grind and just the power of taking a pause, that power of stopping, taking some deep breaths and, really centering yourself maybe before you go into a room with somebody who is going to be a little bit challenging.
Mindfulness techniques, being very present.
We do a lot. We do teach some mindfulness and some meditation kinds of stuff. We talk about the importance of that. And, how do you work that into your day when it feels like you don't have the ability to work in your day?
Self-care. It's like the first thing that goes, right? You have to do all the things.
Yep. That's what we start with. Like, what are you doing to take care of yourself, right? How are you? What is your, strategies that you're doing when you're in the midst of all of this crisis and the fast-paced world that we work in? Because, whether you're a nurse or a maintenance worker or a security guard or work in dining services or your environmental services, cleaning the rooms, all of those people are so important and they can be stressful because there's lots of demands placed on you all the time, Yeah. So it's important for all of them to feel like they're part of the team too. You don't have to be the nurse or the doctor taking care of the patient to be part of that team. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's some of I think back to mom and dad being in the care center.
Yeah.
And everybody there was just an integral part of the team. And yeah. So important. I don't think that people appreciate the whole team enough.
No, I don't think so either. And sometimes I worry that those people aren't appreciated enough, right? Even by colleagues.
Like the maintenance guy who comes in and fixes something that's broken or whatever. That's so important.
They're critical. Critical. Or that environmental services person who's got to get that room cleaned so that patient in the ED can get up and get that bed.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. This is, you can't run the hospital without any one of those people. So,
everybody wants to feel heard and appreciated.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody does. Everybody does. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I can tell when you have just completed one because you light up too, seeing other people.
Yeah. It always feels so good. And I tell them every time, like, just want them to get out of it what I got out of it. For me, it was such a good experience. And I grew a lot from that and have, grown since then, since I took it the first time. Well, I took it once 20 years ago, but so that's kind of fun too, to see how people at different phases of their lives, it's different.
Yeah.
Right. Like, your life balance is different when you have little kids versus when you're an empty nester. So
absolutely.
It's interesting that's always fun too, to have people at different kind of life phases too in the group to kind of balance some of that stuff out. So yeah.
Yeah, that brings up a good point, because when you have spent time with someone that's different than you learn. I mean, you might prejudge somebody else's life and not realize all their struggles.
Yeah. Yeah. And you hear it all the time, like, oh, those young people, they don't have whatever. Well, that's been said for eons.
Yeah. They said that about us, and we didn't believe it then either.
They said that about, I think there's a quote by, I don't know who, Plato or somebody, that says the exact same thing. So it's been going on for centuries.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that. It's always fun to watch the different generations communicate with each other and build relationships with each other. I have had sessions where people will say to a young nurse or whatever, you've restored my faith in young people, because I can see how passionate you are and what a hard worker you are. And I just think, most of us are, and I have seen young people who work their asses off. I've seen young people who don't. I've seen old people like me,
like us,
work their asses off, and some who don't, so it's not necessarily age that makes someone who's good at their job.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you see diversity come into this too? So like people from other cultures and other races and stages of life.
We try really hard to include, how to better understand people who are from different cultures. And I think we still have a long way to go, within.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody does. But yeah, definitely working hard to incorporate that as well.
Wouldn't it be great if every industry or every company did something like this?
Yeah, it would be.
Wow.
It would be. And I think there definitely, since COVID, is a big push for well-being, right? Like, how are you taking care of your team, their well-being? Partly because we need people to stay. You can't go anywhere. There's not job openings, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we have to do a better job of taking care of our people. And I think it goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier in terms of stigma and not being willing to talk about, I'm not okay. People are more willing to say, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I'm not going to just keep coming to work every day. If you don't care, then I'm not okay. And so I think there definitely is more awareness that we have to take care of people, and their well-being is important, and we contribute to making it better or not. So yeah, I think a lot of organizations are starting to see that, and could benefit from something like this that's a little bit more structured. Yeah.
What would you like to do next? I mean, what can you see that growing or expanding, or what?
I would love to see that grow or expand. I mean, you and I out on the golf course, I've had conversation similar to this, right? Like, my job is a hard job. I really, really like my job. But I don't see myself doing this particular job forever. And so if I could focus more on well-being, of team members, I think that would be a really cool transition to make, towards the end of my career as I move towards the retirement years.
Wow. The R word.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is exciting, and it's good stuff. And I'm lucky St. Luke's has given me the opportunity to do this. And, I think there will continue to be more opportunities like this. And, whether it's in conjunction with the job that I'm doing, which it is now. And I'm thankful for that. And someday, maybe when I'm ready to work less days or less hard, or I feel like it's time, probably more like I feel like it's time somebody else needs to kind of take over,
Yeah.
That's that's the other cool thing I get to do is watch some really cool leaders learn and grow and become cool leaders and start to see others who are growing to the point where I'm like, you could step into this job and probably it's time to pass the baton off, which I see in a few years it will be.
Cool. Well,
and it is cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. And the thing that you're doing, it helps every department. It helps like as a community member, it makes me feel better about my level of care if I need to go into the hospital, that people are taking care of themselves so that they're able to take care of others. And you're going to get a better level of care, I would think.
You really are. You really are. Yeah. You're going to get people who you want someone who's taking care of themselves, who's got a good emotionally.
Yes,
right?
Please.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Do not be drawing my blood if you are angry.
No. You don't want that. You want their skills too. You want them to know how to draw your blood.
Yes.
But
but
yes,
please don't do it with an angry heart.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's pivot.
From a heart of peace.
A heart of peace. Yes.
Heart of peace. There's a great commercial. It's a Heineken commercial.
Yeah.
So we show this in the retreat. We talk about that heart at peace versus heart at war concept.
Oh.
And it's a commercial that Heineken does. And you could Google it. I can't remember I'll describe it and then you can Google that. So they get like two people who are exact opposites. Like one man who says, I don't understand transgender people. I don't get it. I think it's all like made up. And then a transgender woman, right? And then
I think I've seen that commercial.
Have you seen that commercial? It's a Heineken. I can't remember. I have to Google it again.
Yeah.
To figure out what the real terms is. It's not heart at peace, heart at war, but that's what we talk about. And how they have to work together to actually build a bar, right?
Yeah.
And so through that, they are working together. They're getting to know each other. And then at the end, they have to watch the video of themselves saying these nasty things, essentially about that other person, right?
Yeah.
Whether they're a feminist or a transgender. I can't remember what those two are the ones that stick in my mind. And there's a third one, I think. And then they say, now you have the choice of leaving or sitting down and having a beer and discussing.
Oh.
And they all sit down and have a beer, right?
Good.
So it's so sort of like your podcast, right? You sit down and you have a drink and you figure stuff out. But really what they learn is they're more alike than different, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the side. Sorry.
No, that's perfect. Cause, beer and wine bring people together. Cocktails. Yeah. I love that.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
Oh yeah. If I can find it, I'll include a link to that in my show notes. So
it's good to listen to.
Yeah.
To one heart.
Yeah. 'Tis the season too to be coming together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a good segue too. So, tell me about some fun times over wine or beer or cocktails or.
So many, right? So I just got back from an amazing trip. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. So we did 2 amazing wine tasting events, days. One in Australia. We went to Hunter Valley in Australia, north of Sydney. Drank some amazing, mostly red wines there. Just amazing wines. And then we were in the Marlborough area in New Zealand and did a full day of wine tasting in the Sauvignon Blanc area and just had some fabulous drinks there. So that and lots of drinks all throughout that trip. But, I enjoy having a cocktail and golf course.
Yes.
Lots of fun times around.
Absolutely. And so, for people who don't know, your brother lives in Australia. So that was fun.
Sydney area.
Yeah. Did he give you ideas on where to go, or how did you decide where you wanted to check out?
Like the trip in general?
Well, more
the wine tasting.
The wine tours and stuff. That's of course where I went, but
he went with us actually to Hunter Valley. So he messaged a couple. I think he's been up there before, but he messaged a friend of his that actually one of his friends, it's his brother or I can't remember, owned one of the wineries that we went to.
Nice.
And then they gave him some ideas of other places to go. So that was, so we went to a couple of bigger ones, some of the routes, a couple really small sort of, smaller
Boutique
vineyards.
style.
Yeah. Just that was very cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Was
And
it
then
mostly Shiraz?
Yeah, some Shiraz, but different vintages. I'd have to go back and really look at what we all drank. I can't even really. It was fun though.
Okay. It's the memory.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So fun.
Yeah.
And New Zealand, you had some Sauvignon Blancs and
lots of Sauvignon Blancs because that's, Marlborough, that's pretty much their main, I think like 80% of the wine they make. Some Chardonnays.
Do you have any Pinot Noir?
Yes. Yeah. Pinot Noir too.
Yeah. They're kind of unique.
Yeah, yes. And they're kind of, some of them had just one or two Pinot Noir. Those, and then almost always, bubbly. Yes. Nice to end with a bubbly, which was always really good. We did have some great wines there. We went on a tour on that one and went to, mostly vineyards that I hadn't heard of. We went to Whitehaven. That was probably the one that I knew of. But that was fun. The gin is made. They make really good gin in New Zealand, and I do enjoy my gin. So we had some really good gin while we were there, made in New Zealand that I haven't been able to find since I sort of expected maybe I'd be able to find some, but I haven't. Hard, I guess. I've just gone to Hy-Vee.
Well, it's
need good bands or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as easy to find boutique style things in Eastern Iowa.
Yeah. True.
You need to go to Chicago or somewhere big.
Yeah. So, that was fun.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite cocktail?
Oh, you know me.
A little tequila, maybe, or gin.
I do enjoy tequila. I like tequila. I really enjoy gin. I enjoy wine. Last night I drank a few glasses of some of the wine I recently got from you. A Bentgate, I believe, is what I opened up.
That's a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
sorry
to bring that up.
No, that's okay.
I also like a good beer,
Yeah.
I actually love a good craft beer. I like, I love going, my daughter, as you know, lives in Milwaukee, so it's always fun to go to some breweries. There's very little, I don't enjoy like bourbon or whiskey.
Yeah.
Those are the things I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
Anything too like smoky or, oaky. I don't like a real super oaky wine either.
Oh,
but otherwise, I like, I just like to have a nice cocktail with friends and.
Yep. You are my people.
That's it. I just like to sort of sip through it and So
it always.
I go through phases. I'm sort of on a gin phase right now, but in the winters when I start to like to drink some red wine, it just feels nice and warm. And
curl up with a good book and with good friends and chat and
yes, for sure. Yes.
Well, cool. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to talk about or that you want to share?
Not really. I mean, not that I can think of, For those of you who don't know, Penny's amazing. She's a good friend and she's good at her work. So it's just, it's fun to see you doing this, Penny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun to do.
I enjoyed listening to the podcasts as I was kind of going about my days the llast couple of days to kind of catch up. I had listened to one, but I hadn't listened to all of them. So I binged them.
Oh,
which was
nice.
Fun. It was fun. I got to hear like your friend, Jill, right?
Yeah, my chair champion.
Yeah, so that was fun because I've heard you talk about her a lot. So it was fun to kind of hear her and your niece. And so it was fun to just hear some different stories too. So you've interviewed some good people.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, a lot of good stories. And I've had a really good time. I've learned a lot from.
Yeah, I bet you have.
Yeah.
How to do a podcast, one of them, but you've learned.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Well, when I was listening to them,
there are some things.
how am I going to fit into this? I'm not an entrepreneur. Almost everybody's like entrepreneurial. I'm like, I just go to work and have a job.
Oh, that's it. That's, I just happen to have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs. So,
Yeah.
but I love your story too, because it's important work and you are very good at it. You recently got that. This is something we can talk about. The award you got recently. That was so cool.
That was,
what was the name of it again?
Quite humbling. It was the Waypoint Women of Achievement.
Women of Achievement. Yes.
Women of Achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went to the ceremony honoring you, and it was, absolutely. It was first of all great to see you get that award because it's so deserved. Your work is amazing. And the stories that were told all through the ceremony, because there were how many women were honored? Do you know?
I don't know. 20? So there were like different categories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there was the thing I noticed, and among other things, but the one of the big things I noticed was that everyone used the word, most people used the word resilient.
Mm-hmm.
For I think everyone had three words to describe your career or the way that you look at life.
If I didn't know that, I would have tried to come up with much more creative words.
Your words were great, but resilient that describes people in every industry.
Yeah, I think most of us have had to be pretty resilient the last few years, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. And for me, it's been resilience and wine. Or, and lots of conversations with good friends.
Yeah.
I appreciate you talking me off the ledge a few times.
That's what I'm here for. As long as you do the same in return when I
Absolutely. I'll come right over with a bottle or 3.
Nobody's judging.
No
judgment here.
No judgment.
No judgment.
No. You got an award. I saw another award ceremony a few years back. It was before COVID. What was that one?
Into that. That was the St. Luke's Leadership Award, I think.
Okay.
That was way before COVID. That was before I was in this job even. So that's more than walks. So I've been in this job 7 years. So that's 5 years ago.
Holy cow, that long?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Well, you deserve every accolade.
9 or 10 for sure.
Every year. Let's do something. Here's your trophy.
So, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Turn the table.
Yeah.
So, we're approaching the end of the year.
Yeah.
Doing life changes. You're like
big life changes. Yeah.
What? So, like, what's sort of your next first step that you plan to do?
Oh gosh.
You have like I don't know that I'm not really one for like, making a resolution or anything like that. I've been choosing a word for the year.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So what are you, what's your next big move?
Well,
or are you just going to wait?
I wish I had the luxury of waiting a bit, but yeah, no, I've been approached by multiple multi-level marketing or direct sales companies.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, it's not hitting it. It's not.
Yeah, it has to be something you're passionate about, right?
Yeah. Well, and so far, I mean, I haven't tried all the wines from the other companies, but when I did in a few years back, was not impressed.
Right.
And the thought of building someone else's company to have them say, yeah, no, we're going to go to the affiliate program now. Not feeling it.
Yeah.
So I can't see myself doing another direct sales, at least now,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm brainstorming other things. Like what lights me up?
Yeah.
Kind of starting by looking back at, what were some of the things that were really fun to do and that were very, they were in service to others that were, really important things to do, those kinds of things. and looking at the podcast and trying to, where's the overlap here, and what can I bring? How can I bring joy to people through this podcast? Yeah, and how can I serve others and still make money from it? Make a living from it. So yeah,
you got to do that, right? Somebody has to pay the bill.
Exactly.
But I think that's a brilliant way to go about it, though not necessarily like
this is what I know. So
industry, right? But like, what are the things about some of the work that you've done, or different projects that you've worked on that you really liked, and how do you take those things to sort of something? You're much more entrepreneurial than I am, so I come up with something that's going to be a success. You're going to find something that's going to work for you.
Yeah, that's the goal. And one of the things that I'm working on, one of my leaders on my team also started a podcast called Spandex and Wine. So it's a great one. Yeah, it's a very good one. And so we've been chatting about, what can we do together, and what are some things that we can collaborate on. So we are, we're putting together a wine tour for next, early fall that people can come to. So that'll be in Texas Hill Country, Texas wine country. Yeah. So we'll go to wineries and do a little yoga. She'll do the yoga part. Some different.
Awesome.
Yeah. Things like
doing
that,
things like that can springboard you into different.
Yeah.
I think you'll be manifesting things into your life for sure.
Yeah, that's my goal. Yeah. For sure. That was a fun question. And
it was a hard question. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sure you've been thinking a lot about.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we just got out of Christmas, so I kind of was, with the grandkids and distracting myself instead of focusing on what's next, just to kind of give myself a little break for a few days.
Yeah. It's good. That's important too. Give yourself some.
Yeah. It's like you were talking about with the, am I okay? Kind of still in the pissed off stage.
Sure. Yeah. I think you did a little podcast about this, and kind of going, you're grieving, which is
for sure. Yeah. Still we'll go through, I'm sure, some more.
Well, you might be pissed off. You might always be pissed off, which is a different sort of grieving. Well, in the end, it could also springboard into something that, you maybe never would have done before.
Absolutely. There's opportunity here.
For sure. For sure. And I'm one of those really weird people who, that's the sort of thing that sort of excites me. When something really, flips things upside down, you're sort of now you have the opportunity to do stuff you've never thought about doing before.
Game on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just a little scary. And, my husband, and some of my listeners know him too. But he's a little less entrepreneurial too, and is I think a little nervous, but he's been very supportive. So it's good. But I need to find something, to pay the bills and to figure it all out. But I know the next phase will be better than before, because it always is.
Yep. Yeah. You'll learn through it.
Yeah.
Drink through it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a win-win.
Excellent. Well, this has been fun.
It has been fun. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, this has been good, Penny. Thanks for having me.
I'll see you again soon.
Okay. Yeah. Bye-bye.
That's a wrap on another spirited episode of Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I hope you've enjoyed the intoxicating blend of wisdom, wit, and wonder that these incredible women bring to the table. Check out the show notes for links to resources referenced in today's episode. And remember to subscribe and raise a glass with me every Thirsty Thursday as we continue to serve up inspiration, celebrate resilience, and reignite the passions that set our souls on fire. If you've loved what you've heard, please share the podcast far and wide and leave a sparkling 5-star review to let me know your thoughts. It would also help tremendously if you would visit pennyforyourshots.com and subscribe to learn when new episodes are available and pick up my free recipe. In the meantime, remember that your story deserves to be served and savored. Cheers to your brilliance and of women everywhere. Until next time, keep sipping and experiencing life's extraordinary moments. This is Penny for Your Shots, signing off with a clink and a toast to us. Cheers.